Hi, this is Patricia Lee again, reading some more poems from the section of my book called How to Smoke the Soul, Poetry for the Heart and Mind. And this is from the section Poems for the Heart. This one is called A Patched Jacket and it's from 2005. A Patched Jacket. Dignity, single-faced, holds itself with hands folded on the chest. Looks serene at the yin and yang everywhere mocking. I see only a patched coat on a man who rails at his wife. Rejected self-sacrifice hardens to rock a heart that beats with love. I weep at those patches of love, unable to knit my own yin and yang and find wholeness. I deplore those who are loved and chafe, foisted with the burden of someone who cares. When the pendulum falls and yin or yang is erased, how they will rail. Quietly about the house, arranging flowers, dusting, washing woolens, collecting china and smiles, shuttered behind ancient doors with locks, are being bruised by abandonment. Always calm and measured in conversation, steady as the flow of a river, light as the sun through leaves, a face beautifully folded by time. This I cannot be. This is a prose poem called Beached, and it's from 2006. I love a man I have never seen. I know him only by his words, his devotion, writing to me in a foreign language every morning. I would get up before work to read his email, forgetting to eat or drink because his words were food and drink enough for me to carry his thoughts around in my head all day. His weather freezing and how the snow would pile against his window when the power went out. We were sweltering here. I would dream of meeting him and hearing his accent and wondering how tall he'd look, comparing myself to tall men, imagining me against him, where my head would come when I hugged him. My mother read his emails and marveled at how well he wrote his way into my heart. He'd love to hear how our pet kangaroo hopped to the veranda for rabbit pellets. I'd laugh when he warned about sharks after I told him we'd been body surfing and that he'd run all the way back to Sweden if he'd had a huntsman's spider down his track pants like me for 2 hours, nestling against my leg. I whipped off those pants so fast and tossed out the spider in its egg sac. He didn't believe I'd picked up a black snake behind its head one St. Patrick's Day. After I found it, love entangled in a pile of black bird netting on the ground, which has a pattern like snake skin, and couldn't resist writing to forget the pain of his failed marriage and mine, too recent and raw, spilled out in anguish and anger, and being both Pisces made it hard not to feel everything too much. For a long 2 months he didn't write because he was a pirate in the Caribbean, and I told him not to wear an eye patch, but the parrot was okay. I vowed I would visit him after he returned and planned the happy meeting, but he didn't want me too close in his life. For a long time, I had already carried him close in my heart and mind, my arms going cold on the keyboard, seeing the inbox empty, my desperate, eloquent words ignored. I have learned that words are dangerous creators and destroyers of dreams, and that none come close to doing what one of my fingers stroked down the side of his face would do, given the chance. This poem is called Away from Finality. Angst has a way of chiseling itself into the page, permanent as stone, marking the final date stamp of our life. A soul gouged by violence suffers quietly under the marbled alabaster of skin, reflected sometimes in the rubbed out marks under eyes. Rose petal words float like a tide of eulogies, coaxing goodness out of a life lived in shades of darkness and light. A friend delivers what must be delivered, offering as a sacrifice in moments what they have learnt in the marked out graves of time. Be happy, for I love you, is mortared into lips that tremble with the fear of loss. Damage spreads like mossy cracks in concrete or tiles uprooted. Angels lurch off their pedestal. I will tend the lawn and filch the weeds. I will fill with water fresh vases of flowers and sweep away the fallen hopes of your dreams. You are here. I am here, mon ami, not to plant our hurt in the wakening fields of the dead, only to talk. 2008.